What if every single villain Luffy has ever punched, burned, or gum-gummed into the dirt suddenly wakes up on the same ship, same crew, same flag, and they're not fighting each other, they're working together. This isn't just a strongest villains list. This is a full working crew, 10 of One Piece's most terrifying names, each one slotted into the exact role they were built for. And by the end of this video, you'll see why this lineup isn't just powerful on paper, it's the single scariest crew the Grand Line has ever seen. Before we recruit the first crewmate, do me one favour, join our crew by hitting subscribe and leave a like if you enjoy One Piece what-ifs built using actual canon logic. Now let's build the most terrifying pirate crew in history, the captain. Every crew starts with the man at the top, and there was really only one candidate who makes sense here, Marshal D. Teach. Here's the thing, we don't even have to imagine Blackbeard as a captain. He already is one right now, in the current timeline, commanding one of the most feared crews on the Grand Line. He's the only person on this list who has already recruited real villains, Jesus Burgess, the ex-Impel Down inmates, and turned them into a functioning, brutal crew. He has 2 devil fruits. He's taken down Ace and Whitebeard, and he understands villains better than anyone alive because he's spent his whole life reading people and waiting for the perfect moment to strike. You could argue for someone like Doflamingo. He's got the political connections and the theatrical menace to lead, or even Crocodile, who's cold, calculating, and used to running an organisation. But neither of them has Blackbeard's track record of literally building a crew out of monsters and keeping them in line. Doflamingo's empire collapsed. Crocodile's organisation got wiped out at Alabasta. Blackbeard's crew just keeps growing. He's not just the strongest option, he's the only proven one. Right-hand man, every captain needs someone who can stand at the front line and make the entire crew feel untouchable. For that, this crew gets Kaido, the strongest creature alive. The logic here is simple. Kaido spent decades as captain of the Beast Pirates, one of the 4 Emperor crews, which means he already knows how to run the second-in-command chain of a massive organisation from the inside. Except now, he's not the top of the food chain, he's the guy right below it. His devil fruit alone makes him a walking natural disaster, and his sheer durability means he can take hits meant for the captain and shrug them off. A right-hand's job is to be the wall the crew hides behind, and there is no better wall in this entire series. You could also argue for Big Mom. She's a Yonko with decades of experience, an absurdly powerful devil fruit, and enough raw strength to stand beside anyone in the world. Or a Kainu, whose unwavering resolve and terrifying power make him the marine equivalent of a monster. But if you're building the ultimate enemy crew, Kaido is the obvious choice. When the enemy sees Kaido standing next to Blackbeard, they don't calculate odds, they just run. Navigator. A navigator's job isn't just reading maps, it's knowing what's coming before it arrives. That's why Enel, the electric god, takes this seat. Enel's mantra, his observation haki, is on a completely different level than almost anyone else in the series. He can sense danger from miles away, read intentions before an attack even begins, and effectively scout entire islands without ever setting foot on them. For a crew full of villains who need to avoid marine ambushes and rival crews, having someone who can feel an island before you even arrive is priceless. Add in his lightning powers, letting him move and strike at literal light speed, and you've got a navigator who can get the crew out of danger just as easily as he scouts it. Some might suggest Crocodile here too, since he's travelled the Grand Line extensively and understands its politics. Or even Buggy, who, despite the memes, has genuine navigation and map-making knowledge from his Roger Pirates days. But neither has Enel's supernatural detection range. This isn't close. Chef. This one gets people every time, so let's break it down. The chef of this crew is Charlotte Linlin, Big Mom. No, she's not canonically a great cook, but think about what actually makes someone reliable in a kitchen role for a crew like this. An obsession with food so total that it defines their entire personality. Big Mom's hunger, literally and figuratively, is central to who she is. Put her in charge of feeding a crew of monsters, and she adapts fast because to her, food isn't a task, it's almost sacred. A person who worships something will get very, very good at it out of sheer necessity. You could argue for Sanji's father, Judge, since his scientific genius could mass produce food for an entire fleet. Or even Streusen, the chef who literally taught Big Mom about cuisine and can turn objects into food with his devil fruit. But neither has Big Mom's obsessive, almost spiritual relationship with eating. And honestly, nobody wants to be the one who tells her the soup's bad. Chief strategist. Every monster crew needs a mastermind. the man pulling the strings while everyone else throws the punches. And for this crew, there's no better choice than Don Quixote Doflamingo. Doflamingo isn't just strong, he's a master manipulator who spent years secretly running an entire country from the shadows. Look at what he did to Dressrosa. He didn't just rule it, he rewired the entire social and political structure of the island, turned citizens into toys without them knowing, ran a global weapons trade through the underworld, and kept the world nobles, the marines, and the Don Quixote family all dancing to his tune at once. That's not brute force, that's someone who thinks 5 moves ahead and manipulates people into doing his work for him. A crew like this doesn't just need muscle, it needs someone who can read a room, plant the right lie, and pull strings across multiple factions without anyone noticing until it's too late. Doflamingo's underworld connections alone make him invaluable for planning operations before a single punch is thrown. Doctor, every crew needs someone to patch them up after a fight, and like it or not, that's Caesar Clown. Caesar is, evil aside, a legitimate scientific genius, one of the few characters in the series capable of engineering weaponized poison gas, artificial devil fruits, and advanced biological research. That same brilliance that let him hurt people can just as easily be pointed toward healing them. A doctor doesn't need to be kind, they need to be effective. And Caesar's knowledge of the human body, chemistry, and devil fruit science makes him more than capable of keeping this crew alive, especially if Blackbeard makes it clear his usefulness depends on it. Queen could have filled this role too, given his expertise in viruses, cybernetics, and biological weapons with the Beast Pirates, or even Hogback, whose surgical brilliance made him one of the greatest doctors of his time. But Caesar's mastery of gas, poison, and rapid experimentation gives him the edge as the most versatile scientist this crew could ask for. Shipwright. For keeping the ship itself running, this crew turns to Queen the Plague, and it's honestly one of the most natural fits on this entire list. Queen is a certified mechanical genius. He engineered the numbers, built weaponized technology for the Beast Pirates, and constantly shows off inventions on the fly. A shipwright's core job is keeping a massive, complicated vessel functional under pressure, and Queen's comfort with machinery, hybrid tech, and rapid improvisation makes him a natural at maintaining and even upgrading a pirate ship far beyond its original design. Frankie tier engineers are rare among villains, but Vinsmoke Judge's technological background could have made him a contender too. Still, Queen's specific hands-on, mechanical showmanship makes him the clear pick. Sniper. This crew's sniper is one of the scariest picks on the list, Van Augur, and if you know his history, you know why. Van Augur has pulled off some of the most absurd long-range feats in the entire series. He's been shown taking shots from such extreme distances that the sound of the shot hadn't even reached the target before impact, hitting marks other snipers wouldn't even attempt to aim at. On top of that raw marksmanship, his devil fruit bends the normal rules of space, letting him strike from angles and distances that shouldn't be possible, essentially giving this crew a sniper who can hit you from somewhere you didn't even think to look. Nobody possesses Van Augur's supernatural precision. When he pulls the trigger, the target is already dead. Helmsman. Steering this ship through the worst the Grand Line can throw at it falls to Jack the Drought. Jack is one of Kaido's 3 strongest subordinates for a reason. Immense physical power, incredible durability, and a track record of pushing through brutal conditions without slowing down. A helmsman needs to hold the wheel, steady through storms, sea kings, and Jack's sheer resilience and raw strength make him someone who won't be knocked off course easily. Years of experience at sea as a fishman. When the waves become just as dangerous as the enemy, he's the one you want at the wheel. Archaeologist. And finally rounding out this crew, the archaeologist, Sir Crocodile. Crocodile isn't a historian by trade, but few characters have spent as much time and resources chasing ancient weapons and buried history as he has. His entire Alabaster operation was built around uncovering Pluton, which means he's already done deep, obsessive research into poneglyphs, and the kind of lost history that most archaeologists spend a lifetime chasing. Combine that experience with his sheer intelligence, and you get someone who doesn't need to be an archaeologist by title, he already thinks like one. Robin would be the obvious dream pick if she were a villain, but Crocodile's direct hands-on hunt for ancient power makes him the perfect fit here. 10 enemies, 10 positions, options, one impossible crew, and had fate played out differently, the seas would have feared a pirate crew unlike any other. If this crew makes your skin crawl a little, let me know in the comments which villain you'd swap in, and who you think could actually challenge this lineup. If you enjoyed this breakdown, subscribe for more One Piece deep dives like this one. Drop a like if this crew genuinely scared you a little, and I'll see you in the next video.